Hello, Ryder. Hello, Ryder. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening, Ryder. So we wait 2 more minutes and see if anyone else connects, and then we start.
Okay, teacher. No problem.
All right. Hello, guys. Good evening. I guess we're ready to start. So today we're going to continue, and what we're going to do is talk about conjunctions. I discussed a little bit about conjunctions yesterday, but it was just a brief uh, mentioning of conjunctions, not really any any details. Okay, conjunctions. So we're going to talk about conjunctions, and we are going to solve any doubts that arise from this introduction. Okay, so let's see. I hope everyone's microphones are working because we're all going to participate. So let's see. So conjunctions, and we have here what it seems conversation. I just learned what conjunctions are, and okay, sounds very satire, but this is a conjunction. So, okay, without conjunctions, you will be forced to express every complex idea in a series of short, simplistic sentences. I like cooking, I like eating, I don't like washing dishes afterward. Okay, so I'm always going to say I, like, and no conjunctions, no detailed breakdown in my statements. So that's what conjunctions are for. Okay, so in reality, what are conjunctions? I need a volunteer in reading. Let me see, writer, can you help me?
Okay, teacher. Conjunctions are words that link other words, phrases, or clauses together. Correct. I like cooking and eating, but I don't like washing dishes afterward. Sophie is clearly exhausted, yet yet she insists on dancing till dawn.
Till
Conjunct
dawn, dawn, dawn.
okay.
Okay, continue, please.
Conjunctions allow you to form complex, elegant sentences and avoid the choppiness of multiple short sentences. Make sure that the phrases joined by conjunctions are parallel, share the same structure. Examples, incorrect, I work quickly and careful. Correct, I work quickly and carefully.
That's correct. So thank you, writer. As you can see in the first example, conjunctions, we're familiar with them. They help us to do transitions between statements, between words, between expressions, ideas. We know them, but maybe we did not know the whole function of what they serve, all the details, and that's what we're going to discuss today. And we will talk now about coordinating conjunctions. We have different types of conjunctions, but let's talk about coordinating conjunctions at this point. Camila, can you help me with coordinating conjunctions?
Sure. Coordinating conjunctions allow you to join words, phrases, and clauses of equal grammatical rank in a sentence. The most common coordinating conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. You can remember them by using the mnemonic device fanboys. Correct. I would like it pizza or a salad for lunch. We needed a place to concentrate, so we packed up our things and went to the library. Jessie didn't have much money, but she got by. Notice the use of the comma when a coordinating conjunction is joining two independent clauses.
Okay, so we're talking about so right here at this moment, right? We are using a coordinating conjunction to join an independent clause, a different idea. And any reflections on this, fanboys? In reality, mnemonic, what it means is something that makes you remember something fast. And we do that sometimes. Well, in my case, I do that. I remember a word so that I can remember something more important. In this case, you know how to use your conjunctions because you use the word fanboys. And from there, you work out the words for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. That way you remember your conjunctions. It might sound funny, guys, but imagine you are taking an exam and all of a sudden this question arises. What are your conjunctions? What all of the above are coordinating conjunctions? And like, okay, I forgot. But you remember the device, you remember your phrase. So, okay, fanboys. Thank you, Camila. So yes, the best way to remember the 7 coordinating conjunction is by using fanboys. No problem. Let's see. Audrey, can you help me?
Of these 7, so can be used as both an coordinating conjunctions and a subordinating conjunctions as a coordinating conjunctions.
Conjunction.
So conjunction, so can link to independent clause in a manner similar to therefore, and as a subordinating conjunction, it can link to unequal
Unequal.
unequal clause, one independent clause and one independent clause, in the sense of so that coordinating
Conjunction.
conjunct
Conjunct.
conjunction
Shun.
conjunction.
Yes.
We were out of milk, so I went to the store to buy some.
Okay, so we're talking about milk, and you follow up with a coordinating conjunction because we're talking about the same thing. Okay, continue, Audrey.
Subordinating conjunction. Grace is saving money so she can buy her own horse.
Okay. Any questions? And remember, they are also making reference to these transition words. Therefore, es por eso, so that, okay. Entonces, para, entonces que, something similar to that. We use these transition words to connect our statements, to connect clauses, but we need to be careful when to use them. And this explanation is telling us you can use conjunctions and you can use transition words. No problem. Thank you, Audrey. So let's see.
Teacher,
Yes.
I have a question about the subordinating conjunctions. Why are different? Where is the difference between the coordinating and the subordinating?
Okay, good question. In this slide, we're being very brief, but in a little more detail, in a little more slides, I will explain in detail. Here I'm giving you an introduction, so I'm gonna go a little bit deeper and I'll show you some examples, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So let's see. Rodrigo, can you help me reading?
Okay. Coordinating conjunction can join two verbs. Example, the children ran and jumped all over the playground. Two nouns. Example, would you like cereal or toast for breakfast? Two adjectives. The old castle seemed grand yet mysterious. Two adverbs. Slowly but surely, the turtle finished the race.
Race. The race. Okay, thank you, Rodrigo. So in the first example, we're talking about verbs. So run and jump, but they are in the past. Two nouns, we talk about cereal and toast. Adjectives, remember your adjectives describe a noun. So grand, yet, mysterious. And adverbs, slowly but surely. Okay, so conjunctions can help us to join other words. So coordinating conjunctions can join two verbs or any two words with the same syntactical value. Now we're getting in detail, Camila. And or can also be used to join the final two elements in a series with commas separating the rest of the elements. An example, what I consume the most are candies, candy bars, chips, spicy burritos, red wine, and antacid tablets. And this is clear. I think coordinating conjunctions, no problem. Now, and this is something very important. I was debating whether or not to show this, but I believe it's very important to mention. Whether or not you place a comma before the and or is a matter of stylistic choice. When do you put a comma before the final conjunction in a series? It is referred to as zero comma or an Oxford comma. And this is what we're talking about. You have the conjunction here and you have a comma. And we talked about this in the past. In Spanish, you don't do it, but you do it in English. Okay, teacher, but would it matter? Well, in the US, yes. As far as I'm concerned, if you do a research paper and you don't consider a comma, even the same software, Microsoft Word will tell you you have a mistake. You need to add a comma. So that's a matter? Yes. I'm not very sure about in the UK, but I'm very sure they do because, come on, it's called the Oxford comma. It has to count. Any questions before I continue about this? So remember, and or to join final elements in a series. Candy bar, chips, spicy burritos, red wine, and antacid tablets. Okay, Mauricio, can you help me?
Conjunctions that connect two phrases. The rules for using coordinating conjunctions to join grammatically equal phrases are the same. Example, he seemed poorly groomed yet well mannered. Example, by covering my past due bills with a brick, I can put them out of sight and out of mind.
Okay. So any questions about this? Groomed, yet well-mannered. In this case, we don't have to use a comma. In the second example, by covering my past due bills with a brick, I can put them out of sight and out of mind. And where is my conjunction here, guys? In the second example, anyone knows? Anyone can tell me? Anyone? Any volunteers? No?
Maybe in the and?
Here? Okay. So you're connecting two phrases, right? I can put them out of sight and out of mind. Okay. You're connecting two phrases. Do you see another one?
By.
Yes. That's the most important. That's the most important. You have a conjunction within a clause. Or like this example says, a phrase. You have two phrases. And you have one here that is joining to, okay, I can put them out of sight and out of mind. Two words, you're bringing them together with a conjunction. But the main conjunction here to join the phrases or the statements is by. This one is very, very important. And you will find many uses of conjunctions in the beginning of a question or even a sentence to bring them together. Okay. Joe, can you help me read?
Okay. Conjunction that connect to clause. Coordinating conjunction, aka the fanboys, can connect to independent clause. Independent clause are so called because each of them can stand of it. As a sentence, oh, we connect them with fanboys, however, so that we don't spit out or sentence like robots. Example, I love candy bars. I know they are not good for me. My brother has told me this. I don't wanna list.
Listen.
Coordinating conjunction. Okay,
Listen.
listen. Okay. Coordinating conjunction make these ideas sound more fluent. Example, I love candy bars, yet I know they are not good for me. My brother has told me this, but I don't want to listen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Joe. Okay, guys, I know this is a lot of words, but it's actually a very beautiful detail of how to use conjunctions. So in the first example, yes, we sound like robots. I love candy bars. I know they're not good for me. My brother has told me this. I don't want to listen. Okay, so that's why it's telling us this example. Okay, we know that we use conjunctions to join ideas, blah, blah, blah. But independent clauses, we need to be able to identify what is an independent clause. Because each of them can stand on its own as a sentence. That's why all of these are independent clauses. Okay, and we connect them with fanboys. And that's what we do here. I love candy bars, yet I know they're not good for me. And then we close with a period. Because if not, we will have a run on. My brother has told me this, but I don't want to listen. I think the explanation is clear. Independent clauses, okay, we call it because we have sentences that can stand on their own. Okay. Questions before we continue? Is it clear, guys, so far, or do you need me to go back?
Teacher, what is AKA?
Ah, anyone knows? Anybody knows? AKA is short for also known as, también conocido como the fanboys. Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
All right. So let's continue. Again, we're continuing with conjunctions that connect two clauses. Okay. So when joining two clauses with a coordinating conjunction, always place a comma before the conjunction. Okay. Example, I don't want to throw away my candy bars, nor do I wish to listen to my brother. Example, I adore candy factories, and I don't want to own one someday. And I want to own one someday. Okay. And we're still talking about coordinating conjunctions. But look at the ideas. Okay. So we have independent clauses, yes. But look at the context. I don't want to throw away my candy bars, nor do I wish to listen to my brother. I adore candy factories and I want to own one someday. Correlated conjunctions. Writer, can you help me with this one?
Correlated conjunctions. Correlated conjunctions are pairs of conjunctions that work together. Some examples are either, or, neither, nor, and not only, but also. Example, not only am I finished studying for English, but I'm also finished writing my story essay. I am finished with both my English essay and my story essay.
At some point we talk about neither, nor, not only, but also. Do you have any concerns about this explanation? So correlated conjunctions are conjunctions that work together. Some examples, either, or. Any questions in regards to usage of these words? Anyone? No? Okay. Thank you, writing. Now, subordinate conjunctions. Okay. So let's see. Camila, can you help us with subordinate conjunctions?
Subordinating conjunctions join independent and dependent clauses. A subordinating conjunction can signal a cause and effect relationship, a contrast or some other kind of relationship between the clauses. Common subordinating conjunctions are because, since, as, although, though, while, and whereas. Sometimes an adverb, such as until, after, or before, can function as a conjunction. Correct. I can stay out until the clock strikes 12. Here, the adverb until functions as a subordinating conjunction to connect two ideas. I can stay out, the independent clause, and the clock strikes 12, the dependent clause. The independent clause could stand alone as a sentence. The dependent clause depends on the independent clause to make sense.
Okay, thank you, Camila. So we have many more conjunctions. We talk about subordinating noun. We talk about correlated conjunctions so far. Coordinating, subordinating, correlated conjunctions. At this point, let me ask you a question. Now that we know how to identify the different types of conjunctions, in your own experience, what type of conjunctions were you the most familiar with? What are the conjunctions that you use the most? Let's see, Audrey, for example, what are the conjunctions that you use the most? Audrey?
Teacher,
Yes.
¿qué era? What are the conjunctions?
What conjunction? Like right now, we know what type of conjunctions we use. In your own opinion or your own experience, what type of conjunctions do you use the most?
And but.
The fanboys, right?
And the fanboys, and but, and so.
Yes, because those naturally are the ones we are exposed the most in the beginning, right? Okay. And let me ask someone else. Thank you, Audrey. Ryder, what about you? Ryder?
I still think fanboys, teacher.
Fanboys, right? Okay.
Yes.
And Rodrigo? Thank you, Ryder.
Yes, teacher, the same, fanboys.
Okay. Mauricio?
I think the classic fanboys like Adri said, and but so yet sometimes.
Yes, that's correct. But we have used, what about the word yet? Maybe we are using yet in a different context, but not fully as a conjunction. Do we agree? Because yet is a word that is very versatile. It can mean still in a different context, but still towards the same direction. But yet works as a conjunction, and we haven't used maybe yet fully as a conjunction. Camila, what about you?
I think that like everyone else, the fanboys are the most common conjunctions that I use.
Okay, and that's why we are writing essays, guys, so that we can use conjunctions as well. Because using too many coordinating conjunctions, come on, yes, but we have other tools. And thank you, Camila. And Joe, what about you? Also coordinating conjunctions? Joanne? Hello, Joe. Maybe you're on mute. You're trying to speak. Okay. Okay, guys. So I guess it's clear. Let's continue. And we have more details about subordinate conjunctions. Okay, any volunteers now? Perhaps anyone wants to try?
Yo
Mauricio?
teacher.
Okay, Audrey.
Subordinating conjunctions. The subordinating conjunction doesn't need to go in the middle of the sentence. It has to be part of the dependent clause, but the dependent clause can come before the independent clause. Before he leaves, make sure his room is clean. If the dependent clause comes first, use a comma before the independent clause. I drank a glass of water because I was thirsty. Because I was thirsty, I drank a glass of water.
Thank you, Audrey. Okay, so now we're getting deeper into this. We can have different forms whenever we have in our clauses. Now we're talking about a dependent clause. And look at the subordinate conjunction. Here is in the beginning. Before he leaves, comma, make sure his room is clean. And as Audrey says, if the dependent clause comes first, in this case, okay, use a comma before the independent clause. All right, I drank a glass of water because I was thirsty. Because I was thirsty, comma, I drank a glass of water. Okay. And this one can be tricky because we had a period here. But it's just different ways of doing it. And okay, so can we start a sentence with a conjunction? Many of us, in my case, I was taught to use this in high school. That maybe there was a mistake to do it. And I remember back in the day, every year we were tested. Outside of having to have the grades to pass class, you would have to take a state exam. Back in those days, I'm talking about 1999, when I was in junior high, I would have to take the TAKS, Texas Assessment of Knowledge. And yes, they would give us a test in reading, writing, mathematics, language, and history. And all of those grades would add up, and I would have to pass it. If I don't pass, I don't pass to the next grade. It wasn't that easy. So I believe they have a different name now, but they upgrade or they update the way they teach us. I mean, they evaluate students. I'm talking about 1999, guys. Now we're in 2022, so the rules of the game maybe changed a lot. But yes, but it's tricky because in college they tell us, okay, not necessarily. You can actually start with a conjunction. And before they tell us not to do it, so what happened? Well, like I said, the rules change, even in grammar. As mentioned above, a subordinate conjunction can begin a sentence if the dependent clause comes before the independent clause. It's also correct to begin a sentence with a coordinating conjunction. Often, it's a good way to add emphasis And that's the reason why. Because you want to add emphasis. And we see that in the books. Okay, teacher, so it's only in college? No. It was just a high school, junior high rule. Okay, don't teach the kids to these other rules. They have to know this. If they master this, okay, they can learn new things in college. And they can play with the grammar, the punctuation. That's the way it was back in the day, guys. Maybe they're more open now in school. I don't know. But I can guarantee you that maybe they are. They're more flexible. Beginning too many sentences with conjunctions will cause the device to lose its force. However, so use this technique sparingly, esporádicamente, sparingly. So this is a correct statement. Have a safe trip. And don't forget to call when you get home. Jerry flung open the door, but there was no one on the other side. Okay. So we are starting a conjunction, a statement, a sentence with a conjunction here. We have a period and here too. We add emphasis. And I'm pretty sure we started reading our articles and we started with conjunctions. Yes. I was just giving you an example when I was in school, how strict they were and very controlling in how to write. I'm not sure if that happens nowadays. So this is a list of the conjunctions that we just talked about, guys. And this is something so that I can have a summary and show you what's going on. Okay. So coordinating conjunctions, the fanboys. Correlated conjunctions, both and. Yes, and can work as a correlated conjunction. Either or, neither, nor, on, not only, but, whether, or. Okay. And the subordinate conjunctions, yes, this is a huge list. I'm pretty sure we are only familiar with just a few, not all of them. But trust me, all of these are tools that we can use in our text whenever we're writing an essay, whenever we're writing a summary, or even when we are writing an email and we're trying to explain something to a customer, to a client, a co-worker. Okay, so that's it. Any reflections on conjunctions, guys? A good reflection, of course. Hello? Hello, hello, can you hear me? I hear silence. Hello, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, sir.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so any reflections on conjunctions?
But in my case, no, I don't have. Yeah.
But a good reflection, maybe? A bad reflection? Any, I guess, did you consider this information useful? I hope so.
Actually, I didn't know that words were called conjunctions, so it was very interesting to know that and when to use it and how to use it. In the case of the use it after the commas and how we can do it better and good.
Okay. Thank you, Camila. That's a good reflection. And trust me, guys, come on. It happens to all of us. To be honest, like I said before, I haven't said it in this class, but English was not my first language. It was Spanish, and then afterwards I learned English. But even in Spanish, I wasn't familiar with all the punctuation. Now I have done it because I do a living out of teaching language or languages. So there's nothing to be, I guess, it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's something that we needed to know so that we can have a better understanding whenever we're learning new information, especially in regards to punctuation and grammar. Now, since I guess there's no more comments, I guess we're ready to quiz our knowledge, right? Yeah, let's quiz our knowledge. So let's do the following. Write down your answers. Okay, write down your answers. Write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Write your answers, and then we check. Let me know if you finish this part. I cannot show you the whole page because it gets very small. So let me know when you finish the first uh, statements and questions so that I can scroll down, okay? So coordinating conjunctions, complete the sentences below with one of the following fan voice words. Okay, so are you ready? So let's start, guys. Let me know if you need me to move. Let me know if I need to move the quiz, okay?
I finished, teacher.
Okay. So I have scrolled down. I hope you finished the ones on top.
Teacher, can you please scroll a little bit down?
Is it okay now?
Yes, thank you.
I finished, teacher.
Okay. Do you need more time, guys?
I also finished, teacher.
Okay, awesome. What about the rest?
I didn't finish yet, teacher. Give us 1 minute, please.
Not yet? You need more time?
Yes,
Ryder?
1 minute, please.
Rodrigo? Mauricio?
I finished, teacher.
Okay. Joanna, you need more time?
I finished, teacher.
Okay. So guys, Ryder, you finished?
Yes, I'm
Okay. I have good news for you guys. So this is going to count as a quiz, real quiz, okay? So let's check the answers and let me know your grade at the end so that I can take note, okay? So, number 1, Ryder.
we can go out for dinner now or option A.
A. Okay. Good job, sir. Number 2, correct. Number 1, I'm sorry. Number 2, Mauricio.
John can't speak Japanese, but he can speak Spanish.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, teacher.
Sure.
Okay. I guess there was something going on with the web, with the internet, so. All right, 3. Rodrigo?
I was late, so I decided to take a taxi to work.
Yes, good job. 4, Joanna.
Mm, my classmate didn't study for the test, mm, nor she still passed.
Okay, so this option is incorrect. The correct answer is yes. Okay. 5. Okay. Who's missing? Camila?
In the end, the company didn't make money, so did it lose money?
Okay. You said so, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure about so or nor because I think that nor is only used for negative sentences. So this is not negative. That's why I didn't choose it.
Oh, okay. Well, your perception is, I guess, in this case, you're right about what you're saying, but that's not the whole case. It may vary, and this is one of the cases. In the end, the company didn't make money, nor ni perdió dinero, nor did it lose money. Okay, so that's the correct answer. 6. Am I missing someone? No. Yes, I'm missing. Who am I missing? Who's next? Who I haven't called? Mauricio? 6.
My pet cat is cold and angry. Nor it didn't come back home last night.
Okay. So my pet cat is cold and hungry. And you said no. Correct? That what this was your answer?
Yes.
That's incorrect. Anyone knows what's the correct answer?
4.
Yes. Seven. Writer?
Seoul is a
So? So?
Seoul.
Yes.
Seoul is a large city and it is located in Asia.
Asia.
Option B.
Asia. That's correct. 8. Let me see. Audrey.
The universe is a big place, so there may be intelligent life out there.
Good. Good job. 9. Rodrigo?
I have some free time and an extra ticket. Do you want to see a movie?
Okay, the correct answer, A. 10. Camila?
I am not really hungry. Yet that apple pie looks delicious.
Okay, good job. Let me see. Rodrigo?
Mm, elephants are big, but blue whales are even bigger.
Okay, good. Joanna,
The capital city of the United States is not New York, nor is it Los Angeles. Angeles.
Los Angeles, right? Yes. Mauricio,
Can you help me carry these books? Or are you busy right now?
good. 14, writer,
I need a pen and some paper to write some notes.
Camila,
Sam lived in France for 2 years, so he can speak French.
good. And 16, Joe,
Coordinating conjunction are investigating and uh, useful.
interesting, and useful. B, right? Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. So how did you do? How many people in the excellent section? Anyone in the excellent?
Yes, teacher.
Audrey, good job.
Yes.
Okay, what about the good? Who is in the good section? Really, guys? No one in the good section? Anyone in the 12 or less? Everyone else? Hello? Okay. So just to conclude, do you have any questions in regards to this quiz? Can you hear me, guys? Hello?
No, teacher, I don't have the question.
Okay. So guys, okay. So send your grade via WhatsApp. Send it to me in private because I need to record this. Okay. Send me your grade so that I can have it. And that's it. Do you consider we need to have more practice in conjunctions?
I don't think so, teacher.
No? Okay. So send me the grade in, I guess in the what, not in the WhatsApp group, send it to me privately so that I can have a look. And let's continue with another presentation, okay? So yes, if you remember the objectives that we had from our syllabus, we need to talk about what information to use from articles. And not only articles. We're talking about books, texts, magazines, so on and so on, okay? We need to know what kind of information to use. not only for personal usage, but if we need the information so that we can create a short summary, use it as a reference for a research paper, or even an investigation from work or school. So let's see. So, introduction to how to use evidence from a text. Yes. So whenever you write about ideas presented in a text, you must provide evidence from that text to prove your point. Yes. And we use quotations most of the time for that, right? Explaining how and why the evidence you have provided demonstrates your claims, just like a lawyer does in court. Yes. You need to have evidence so that whatever you are presenting is valid. And in this case, how do we do it? We quote, right? We use references. Using evidence. Let's read about this. Let me see. Audrey, can you help me with this next slide?
Using evidence. When writing about a text and the ideas it presents, it is important to support each of your claims with evidence from the text. This enables you to show how you have arrived at your conclusion, something you must do it in order to make your analysis convincing.
Analysis convincing, right?
Convincing.
Okay, so claims to reclamos, right? Whatever you're making as a fact claim. So you need to show evidence. And like I said, there's many ways to show evidence. So evidence can be quotations from the text. For example, Steinbeck describes Slim's godlike eyes, which suggests his power and authority on the ranch. Okay. So this is an example from a book. Are you guys familiar with the writer Steinbeck? Do you know Steinbeck? No? Well, he's an American writer, and he was alive during the Great Depression era. So he wrote a lot of books in regards to that era, to what happened during the Great Depression. People were homeless, people they didn't have jobs, they were starving, people were killing each other, just like in what is it called? Fear the Walking Dead, something similar, but living people, right? Just they didn't have money. Something similar. Now, before we continue, did you see any different here from the quotation marks? Did you see something different? We have quotes here, right? But are they double or single quotes? Single quotes, right? So what did we say about single quotes? Hello? Can you hear me, guys? Or am I having problems with the audio?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, here I did this on purpose. We have single quotes because this reference is from a British reference. In England or in the UK, unlike the US, they use single quotes. but in the end, they mean the same. In the US, we use double quotes to double quotation marks so that we can quote a statement, a phrase, whatever. But whenever we have a quote inside a quote, to identify them, we use single quotes. In the UK, it's not like that. They use single quotes. So if you see anything different, well, we can write here another apostrophe and we have double quotes and no problem. Examples from the text. So the narrator is never named in Daphne du Maurier, Nabu, Rebecca. Both types of evidence must be relevant and support each idea you have about the text. They are used to help you prove your point, showing the reader that what you say about the text is based on ideas presented in the text. So far, so good? So yes, we have discussed this already many times. Okay, let's continue reading. Let's see, Camila, can you help me finish reading this section?
Is the second paragraph, right, teacher?
Yes.
When you provide a direct quote, you must use quotation marks at the start and the end of the quotation to show the reader that this evidence has been taken directly from the text. The example below demonstrates how you might use evidence from The Art of Being Normally by Lisa Williamson. David likens Harry to an angry animal by saying, "He growls in my ear."
He growls in my ear. He growls. Okay, good. Thank you. So yes, when we had the opportunity to talk about quotation marks, we discussed this. And we talk about the rules about quotation marks. Now we're talking about whenever we see an article, what to obtain from the article. And not only obtain it, how we use it, how we manipulate it, how we can do the right thing whenever we use that information. Yes, you have to quote. Thank you, Camila. Place the quotation marks. Let's see, writer, can you help me read?
Look for the evidence taken from the text in the following sentence. Where do you think the quotation marks should go? Bruno's maid, Maria is clearly worried about something at the start of the novel as she was twisting her hands together nervously. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne.
Okay, striped pajamas.
Striped
in the striped pajamas.
Okay, teacher.
And so do we answer the question? Where do you think the quotation marks should go? Bruno's maid, Maria, is clearly worried about something at the start of the novel as she was twisting her hands together nervously. Where do you think the quotations marks should go, writer? What are we quoting? In this statement? Anyone knows? Any suggestions? Rodrigo, Mauricio? Anyone else? I should say Bruno's maid Maria. Here, I start my quotations here. Boom, boom. Is clearly worried about something at the start of the novel as she was twisting her hands together nervously. but that's me. Okay. That for me looks like a direct quote from the text. Okay. Because we are describing something so vivid. There's a lot of detail about how a person is nervous and what that person is doing. Okay. Okay, Ryder, can you continue?
Okay, teacher. Selecting relevant quotations. In order to select the most appropriate quotation as evidence, you need to ensure it is relevant to the claim you are making about the text, implying the ideas you are saying the text in presenting, rather than stating them directly. The best piece of evidence to prove that the writer is implying this idea.
Yes. In few words, if you're going to quote, just make sure that you follow the information, that everything matches. You can quote something, but don't make any sense. You know what I mean? The second point is telling you, if you're implying ideas, well, you need to make sure that you are presenting them. Okay? You need to elaborate, not just say it directly, because if not, you're not going to entertain the reader. Okay. Thank you, Ryder. I know it looks like a lot of information, but it's not. Have you guys read the book In Trash by Andy Mulligan? Anyone knows? Anyone has read this book, Trash? Hello?
No, teacher.
I strongly suggest you read this book. It'll make us, I guess, aware of maybe we're not that close to living a future like this. Okay. And let's see, I need a volunteer to help me read here. Let me see. Mauricio. We can start here.
From where, teacher? My connection was not good.
Right here. We can start in trash. In trash.
Okay. In Trash by Andy Mulligan, sections of the story are narrated by the character Raphael, who is homeless and lives on a rubbish dump. He needs to be smart and resourceful to survive. When you read about his character, you might conclude that he seems sneaky and nervous at times.
Devious. Devious.
And devious at times. One way to show this is to select a part of the text that you think implies and best supports your ideas. For example, Raphael seems sneaky and devious because he took a map of the city and split it down.
Slipped it down.
Slipped it down. He shorts rather than share his find with the others.
Okay. So in this case, we can quote just a section, a small section, an action. Well, that's what it's telling us. Okay. and we're using a reference from this book, from the actions of this person, Raphael. And let's see, and slipped it down his shorts. Slipped it down means que se lo metió por los shorts. Slipped it, like really fast, right? It's a mat, it's a paper. Like slide, but slipped. Lo resbalaste así por debajo, slipped it. Okay. And let's continue. Thank you, Mauricio. Rodrigo, can you take it from here?
Using the direct quotation, slip it down shows that you have. Look at this part of the text carefully. Thought about how Raphael's actions have been described and what it implies about the character. Use the description of Raphael's actions to form a view of the character. Before selecting a quotation to prove a point, think about what makes it relevant. A relevant quotation demonstrates your idea. It should be closely connected to the point you are making.
Okay, thank you, Rodrigo. And from the instructions that I gave you yesterday for the essay that we are supposed to write, guys, I gave you a section about the main idea. And how do we call the main idea? What's the name? A thesis statement. So yes, these kind of quotations help us to reinforce our thesis statement. If we know what we're going to talk about, we know the article, we have a thesis statement, we have the main idea of what we're going to talk about from that article, we can quote these small sections to reinforce, to make our point. Just like this list is telling us what happens when we do that. We carefully selected and research throughout the article, throughout the text, to show evidence about that main point. Okay. Remember, these kind of quotations help you with your thesis statement, the main idea. Okay, so let's see. Audrey, can you help me read?
Pick the most relevant quotation. Read the following claim about the leaf Thomas wake up in at the start of the maze. Learned by James Asher. The leaf that Thomas first wake up in doesn't sound very state and seems frightening now. Read the extract and decide which the part of the text that you think will best be used as evidence for this claim. The likeliest leaf
Sway
sway back
and forth.
and forth as it ascent, turning the boy's stomach. So with nausea, a smell like burnt oil invaded his sense, making him feel worse. He wanted to cry, but no tears came. He could only sit there, alone, waiting.
Okay, so this is a long description, right? So in this case, we selected the most relevant quotation to reinforce our thesis statement. And this usually goes in the body of your essay. Okay, and we're giving a lot of detail. Question, what's a lift? Anybody knows what's a lift? ¿Qué es un lift? What is it, guys? Camila, you know? Writer? What's a
It's
lift?
not like when you elevate something or something like that.
It's an elevator. It's a synonym for elevator. Yes. The lift, to lift is the verb, the infinite verb. But a lift is a noun and it means elevator. It's a synonym. Elevator in the US, lift in the UK. So it says here, the legless lift swayed back and forth. O sea, se estaba moviendo de un lado para otro. Back and forth. Para arriba y para abajo, para arriba. As it ascended at the same time. You're giving details about, you can imagine, you're reading and you are picturing what's going on, right? The same thing from an article. Thank you, Camila. Now, this is interesting. Embedding quotations. Okay. Let me see. Who's missing to read? Joe, can you help us?
Mm. When providing evidence for a claim you make about the text, you are analyzing,
Analyzing.
analyzing. It is important to try and embed your quotation to make it a seamless part of your own sentence, like this example that use evidence from the Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson. Try to integrate the evidence into your exclamation. Instead of saying, David Clare thinks Harry is like.
David clearly.
Okay. David clearly thinks Harry is like an angry animal and feel threatened by him. This is a show when it's say he grow in my ear. Invent the quotation when you Harry grow in David's ear. It's clear David feel threatened by him as he is behaving like an aggressive animal, warning David he might attack.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So in this case, guys, this is our quote. He grows in my ear. Maybe the person is not saying, "Oh, David is very angry." No. Maybe you don't know it because you're reading about people talking. But he says, "Well, he grows in my ear." Me está gruñendo. But now you know that the person is upset. So you can make a reference, but you can use part of the quote, not all of it, and work it out. In this case, he grows in my ear. When Harry grows in David's ear. Okay. So now you're using your own words so that you can make it clear. Okay. That's what an embedding quotations mean. And this is just one section. You're not doing anything wrong. You're using the information, your quotes from the text, but you are embedding it to make it suitable, to make it your own words, to make it simple for the reader. whenever you finish your paper or your summary. And there's also more interesting tools, and we have hints. Helpful hints, number one, you can successfully embed quotations into your sentences, only quote the important keyword or phrases. Yes, like we did here in this example, okay? Number two, you need to change the tense used in your chosen quotations so that they make grammatical sense in your sentence. You can. To do this, use square brackets to show you change the endings of keywords. For instance, when Harry, in this case, we change the tense, guys. Okay, this is still a quote, but you're showing with the bracket that this is what you changed. Geraldine, David's ear. It was clear David felt threatened by him as he was behaving like an aggressive animal, warning David he might attack. The same, but you change the tense. It's now in the past. Okay. In this one, is in the simple present. Okay, with the embedded skills, we changed it to the past, from simple present to past. Simple past. Okay. And remember also, don't forget to still use quotation marks. Okay. Just because you change the tense doesn't mean you don't use quotation marks. Just make sure you do that. If not, you might get an observation and not a pretty one. And just a little pointers before we finish. Okay, so let's continue. Writer, can you help me read?
Expanding and developing your point. After you have used evidence to prove your point, move on and expand your idea further. This doesn't just involve explaining what the quotation means and how it has been used to imply the point you are making. It involves developing your first point further. Let's look at the description of the jungle in Lord of the Flies by William Goldwyn. Analyzing what is being implied about it. When the boy's plane crashed into the bath of heat, that is the jungle. It is instantly made to sound unpleasant and intolerable. This could be expanded by explaining why the phrase bath of heat implies this idea, identifying and explaining any language techniques that the writer may have used. For instance, this metaphor makes it sound unbearably hot with no let up, like you are surrounded by heat in the way you would normally be with water in a bath.
Okay. It's a long explanation, but there's a reason behind it. So bath of heat is just saying that it's very hot. It's humid. Maybe there's a little bit of water. Okay. And we're doing a metaphor. But in this case, in this short explanation, when the boy's plane crashes into the bath of heat, this is the jungle. It is instantly made to sound unpleasant and intolerable. Okay. But again, this is just a part maybe of a summary, and we are describing one of the main points from the book, and we are reinforcing our thesis statement. So not only we take our quote, but we take the quote and we write more about the quote to make it interesting. Okay, so we need to use that information, just like in Spanish, guys. No biggie. Try expanding your point. Okay, again, we come back to John Steinbeck. Here is a claim with supporting evidence about an old dog in the novella of Mice of Men by John Steinbeck. Candy's dog is clearly nearly the end of its life, as it is gray of muscle, implying it is old. Gray of muscle. Use this secondary evidence to expand on the above, developing the point about why we know the dog is probably not going to live for a very long time. Okay, so it's an expression. Okay, sometimes we can call it like an idiom or not an idiom necessarily, just an expression. Gray of muscle, that means that it's old and very old. The dog struggled lamely to the side of the room and lay down, ranting softly to himself and licking his grizzled, moth-eaten coat. Grizzled means with gray hair, guys. His grizzled, moth-eaten coat. Coat making reference to his hair. Okay, quote, his hair, as in dog, cat, or any animal that has hair in the body. Quote. Coat. Any questions about this info, guys? I know it's a lot of explanation, but whenever we get into these details about what to do with the evidence from text, we need to be very, very precise on how to use this information and what to do with it. I will send you these presentations so you can have it and use it as a reference. It'll help you with your essay. And remember, I also gave you a sample essay so that you can use it and you shouldn't have any problems. Now, if you're writing your essay, you need help, send me a text or give me a call, no problem. I will be available during the weekend, okay? Any questions, guys, before we go? No questions? Hello? Yes, no, maybe so.
Teacher, el ensayo y las puntuaciones son para mañana, ¿verdad?
El ensayo es para el lunes.
Ah, ya. Las puntuaciones para mañana. O hasta mañana.
El ensayo es para el lunes y los quizzes con sus reglas señaladas es para mañana. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Any more questions? Please complete the survey, okay? I'm missing one person. Please complete your survey. Okay.
Teacher, one question. Until
yes.
what hour we can send the quizzes tomorrow?
And the end of the day, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Yes, thank you.
All right, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you next week.
See you Monday, teacher. Bye-bye.
See you Monday. Bye-bye.
Monday, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.